Oh, no brakes.
Hello, Basic MTB here. Thank you so much for joining in. This is episode 2 of our budget bike series. I've spent about a week riding the Walmart Hyper Explorer, and I feel like I've gotten to know the bike pretty well. And most importantly, I think I've found who this bike is for and who it's not for. First, let's talk about some good things and bad things about the bike. Good stuff first. The geometry of the bike is surprisingly modern. You put this bike next to any modern mountain bike, and the frame is very, very similar. It has a very slack head angle, which means that front wheel is way out in front, makes you very stable going down hills. The chainstay, which is the distance from the crank to the rear axle, is nice and short, makes the bike very maneuverable. It's also a 1x9 transmission, so you don't have a shifter on the front, you only have the cassette in the back. Makes your shifting much more intuitive, and that's the way that all of the newer high-end bikes are definitely going in that direction. The bike is, and this surprised me, it's much more capable than I expected. I thought, oh, this is going to be a Walmart bike that is only for the newest of the new riders. And it's not. That said, there are some negative things about the bike too, and that's primarily around the quality control of the bike from the factory. And if you're mechanically inclined, maybe you know how to fix bikes, or bikes aren't particularly complicated, but if you are able to fix and adjust things yourself, you're good. If not, you're gonna have trouble with this bike. There are a lot of adjustments that need to be made to make this thing function. And if you recall my first video, the front tire was very wobbly. I had to true it up. It was kind of like a Pringle. If you don't know how to true tires, there's a ton of videos online to learn how. It's not very complicated. If that kind of thing does scare you, you're gonna either have to get a friend to fix or take it somewhere to make sure those wheels are good. But it's pretty easy to tell if the wheel is untrue just by giving it a spin and looking at it. The brakes, not great, but that's gonna be expected. It's a cable-driven disc brake. If you've ever used hydraulic brakes on a bike, you know that it only takes one finger to stop the bike. On these, I definitely had to do braking with 2 fingers to get a little more power. Again, not a deal breaker by any means. Most people that have used linear brakes, cable brakes, are used to using 2 fingers for brakes anyway. The rear derailleur, it needed some adjustments as well. I didn't drop any chains, which again, pretty good for a bike that cheap. But I did have an issue where when going to the lowest gear, the chain went over the back of the rear cassette and fell in between the cassette and the wheel. That's a pretty easy thing to adjust and fix. And I will make a video, my next video actually, will be about how to adjust the brakes and the derailleur to make that all good. Yeah, other than the quality control issues, which are all, very easy things to handle yourself, I really enjoyed riding it. It's fun, it's surprisingly light, and it's very, very capable for what it is. There wasn't anything that I could do on my old bike that I couldn't do on this one. And I think that says a lot, given that this bike is 10% the cost of my other one. And that goes to the question of who should buy this bike. If you've been riding a while, you like mountain biking, maybe you've been borrowing your friend's bike for the last 6 months and it's time to buy your own, this is not the bike for you. If you know you're into biking, just spend the money and get a nice bike. If you are just getting into biking, maybe you want to see if you like it or not, develop your skills, and then maybe buy a nicer bike down the road when you're more comfortable investing that much money in a bike. This is absolutely the bike for you. This is the kind of bike where you can get it and you can probably ride it for 2 or 3 years and learn on it and crash it. And if you do break it, you're not out thousands of dollars. This is a fantastic bike to learn on. And I'm pretty excited actually to do a couple of tweaks on it. I already have a bunch of ideas in my head of what I want to change and modify and upgrade to make this thing really excel, especially for its price range. If there are any tips or suggestions for modifications and upgrades, throw them in the comments. That would be really cool. And thanks for watching. Have a great day.